And after that comes everybody that makes the Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation possible, to all of our individual members, corporate members, uh, partner institutions, special partner institutions. Thank you, really, to everyone who makes us possible. The Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation, in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines, is a nonprofit member-supported organization, and it is only through your support and generosity that we are able to bring you our sessions every week and to do what we do in service of poverty alleviation through job creation and rural development. Good morning to everyone. It's nice to see everyone bright and early once again, wherever in the world you are. It's bright and early in the Philippines. Maybe it's at night in the United States, or perhaps very, very early in the morning in the Middle East, wherever you might be. But in any case, welcome. It's very nice to see everybody this morning. I am your host and your president, Julius Barcelona. And once again, it's nice to see everybody bright and early this morning. However, if you are joining us 2 weeks later through our social media uploads, well, it's very nice to see you here again, and we hope our session this morning brings you a lot of value. If you are interested in joining future sessions, gaining access to our wide network of agribusiness and countryside development organizations, getting to our sessions as a member of the audience through Zoom, and being able to engage the speaker in our informal sessions after the formal sessions, which we upload, do consider joining us as a member. Our links are in the description. Like and subscribe, follow us, leave a comment down below. Perhaps you work in the coffee industry. Perhaps you are looking at coffee as a possibility for rural development, or you are interested in regenerative agriculture as a means to improve your productivity. Let us know. Email us, leave a comment. Our links are in the description, and we'd be very happy to hear from you. All right. So with that, I'd like to invite our chairman, Ernie, who is, I see, in transit. Ernie, would you like to give a few words to introduce our speaker for this morning?
Yes, I'd be honored to do that. But as you said, Julius, this organization would not exist without the support of our members. I want to again highlight two people who left us for heaven. Ramon de Losorio, who was responsible for doing this thing every week for 14 years, be assisted by the wind beneath his wings, Bernie. Yeah, and of course, person who just left us, Ito Carlos, who's head of RI Chemicals, only one of two party institutions. I'm glad his daughter, who's assumed the presidency, is still with us today. Having said that, I'd like to introduce someone who does two things well. For many things well, but I like to highlight two things. First of all, he thinks academic, but acts realistic. You'll find that out soon. And third, he thinks global, but acts local. Now, why do I say that? He's actually finished with his doctoral thesis in University of Southern Mindanao, and it is on rural development right down the alley. But he's going to combine that now with action. He's been doing that all these years. All right. Okay. And when I say, think global, he's in global groups. He started with the World Coffee Research Group, World Coffee Research, right down his alley, right? Then he went to Monsanto, then still another multinational. So he thinks global, acts local. He's in Mindanao, he acts among the people. He does really grassroots work. So for someone who thinks academic and acts realistic and thinks global, acts local, I'm glad to introduce to you Donna and Deirdre. And basically, he'll talk about this very interesting project. And as Julia said, a topic people are very interested in. But I've also asked him to give first his numbers, so you can call him from around the world. Second, his personal background, because we measure ourselves not in terms of the forum, but what we can do after the forum, and we connect. So we want the people to 5 to 10 minutes about his personal background, how he got here. Maybe that will help inspire us. And thirdly, of course, what we can do to make his lecture come with action by our support. So let me start by asking him to give his phone number, and then Donan, proceed with your personal background and your presentation. Donan, the floor is yours.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sir Ernie. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to MAP Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation for inviting me to be the resource speaker for today's discussion on regenerative agriculture. So, first, on the question of Sir Ernie, um, why I took agriculture as my course or as my field of study. Agriculture in the Philippines is always associated with poverty, high risk, and hard labor. And actually, the agriculture sector in the Philippines is an aging sector with an average age of 58 years old, with a very concerning decline on youth interest to agriculture. So actually, majority of the youth now are not interested to agriculture. That's why there's a really low enrollment in agriculture courses in the different agriculture state universities. And majority of our young people are leaving the farms, leaving the older generation without successors. So that's why I really want to study agriculture for the future and also ensure food security for the Philippines. And yeah, that's why I also took rural development to really help our farmers improve their lives and also be able to affect change, positive changes in their community through our regenerative agriculture practices, good agricultural practices that we're teaching them. So if you can contact me at my phone number, 0949 Again, it's 0949 So today's discussion would be, my topic for today's discussion would be Nestle's regenerative agriculture program with coffee farmers. So I believe it is very crucial to address the issue of climate change and its alarming impact on coffee agriculture. So while our focus is often on increasing production to ensure food security and improve farmer income, we must not overlook the significance of soil health and biodiversity. So these factors play a vital role in the long-term sustainability of our agricultural practices. So today, we're diving into a topic that holds immense potential for transforming our agricultural practices for the better. So once again, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to shed light on the importance of regenerative agriculture and its potential to mitigate the challenges posed by climate change. In the next slide. But before we start, allow me to introduce to you Nestle Philippines. So we have been in the Philippines for over 113 years. We are the 10th largest company in the country in terms of revenue, and we are contributing 0.8% to Philippine GDP. And we pay around 24 billion pesos in taxes every year since 2018. So our administration office is at Rockwell, Makati, and we have 5 manufacturing sites, three in Luzon, one in Cagayan de Oro, and we also have 6 distribution centers and one shared service center in Bulacan, our BPO, which services almost half of the Nestle world. We directly and indirectly employ over 50,000 households. So here in the screen, you will find some of the Nestle brands, which I'm sure you have grown up with and hopefully are near and dear to your heart. So through our brands, we aim to enable healthier and happier lives and be a force for good for society. Into the next slide. So before I discuss our regenerative agriculture initiatives, I would like to provide you an overview of the current state of coffee, both globally and locally. So globally, we are ranked fifth in terms of coffee consumption, showcasing our love for this beloved beverage. And in Asia, we hold the second position, highlighting our strong coffee culture and appreciation for its flavors. So in 2022, I'd like to share with you that the global coffee exports reached $46 billion, and the total coffee production is about 10 million tons, showing how important coffee is in the world market. So in the next slide, despite of our rising popularity of coffee as a beverage in the Philippines, as what Sir Julius had mentioned earlier, our coffee production has been dropping. In fact, our sufficiency level is below 50%, or that's around 27 to 30%, and the rest needs to be imported In Nestle alone, our requirement every year is around 40,000 metric tons. But we can only source coffee in the Philippines for only less than 10% of that, and the rest has to be imported. And because the government funding for coffee is not sufficient, as the high value crops budget are shared by many other crops and spread in many regions, there is really a need for a focused program and government support for coffee. So this is where the Nescafe plan comes in. So the Nescafe plan of Nestle is the longest running farmer support program, which aimed at ensuring sustainable supply of local green coffee beans and uplifting the lives of Filipino coffee farmers. So our coffee model revolves around six streams. First is sustained technical training, application of good agricultural practices, responsible sourcing, and of course, which I will be highlighting this morning, is the regenerative agriculture, organizing coffee farmers, and um, organizing coffee farmers, competitive price for our suppliers, and nurturing the next generation of coffee farmers. So we recognize the importance of good agricultural practices in farming to increase yield and income. So to support our farmers, our agri-services team provide training on good agricultural practices, responsible sourcing, and regenerative agriculture. So ensure that our coffee meets sustainability standards and offer competitive prices to suppliers. We recognize the threat of climate change to the long-term sustainability of coffee agriculture. So aside from increasing farmers' yields and income, the Nescafe plan places priority in soil health and biodiversity. So we teach our farmers regenerative agriculture that will help them nurture the soil and make the coffee growing communities climate resilient. We also encourage smallholder farmers to form associations or cooperatives to access government support through our project Kasaka. So we offer competitive prices to suppliers based on the global market price. And lastly, we promote youth engagement in agriculture through the Nescafe's Kapit Bisig sa Pagbangon Educational Assistance Program. In the next slide. So we recognize that we cannot do this alone. So we partner with government and non-government organizations for the Nescafe plan. So I'm happy to share with you that we just had a MOA signing with the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA to upskill our farmers and trainers in the agriculture sector through accredited coffee production level 2, including the curriculum for regenerative agriculture in the next 5 years. So currently, we have already granted scholarships since 2021, 1,000 indigenous people, farmers, women. And in the next slide, I'm happy to share with you also if you visited our and also I'm also inviting you to visit our Bukidnon Integrated Coffee Center, located in Malaybalay, Bukidnon. This has already received an accreditation from the Department of Agriculture Training Institute as a learning site for agriculture. So in our center, we showcase our regenerative agriculture practices and good agricultural practices for coffee. So this center serves as an educational venue for farmers and different stakeholders and investors from various local government units and other stakeholders interested in learning about coffee production. So we were able also to empower our farmers with the support of our Project Coffee Plus to pursue accreditation of their farms as learning sites under the Department of Agriculture Agricultural Training Institute. So currently, the coffee farms of our 5 coffee ambassadors are already accredited by the Agricultural Training Institute as learning site for agriculture. And also cognizant of the fact that proper fertilization um, is directly proportional to increased yields, we have implemented the Farmers Grow project in partnership with organic and inorganic fertilizer companies, including Yara, Atlas, Nature Tech, Harvest, and BioPrime. So we believe on the balanced fertilization, wherein we want to reduce the use of chemicals in our coffee farms. That's why we partner with organic and inorganic fertilizer companies. So, for the information of everyone, Farmers Grow Project is a multi stakeholder project that focuses on improving agricultural practices and supporting the technical needs of farmer members of our partner cooperatives through the collective impact approach, bringing in the collective expertise of the implementing partners on crop nutrition. So, as what I've mentioned earlier in our coffee model, we implemented Project Kasaka. This is a farmer-first approach to responsible sourcing. So, we motivate farmers to sell their beans directly to Nestle through the support of our farmer cooperative partners. So, we promote the formation of cooperatives as a platform for the farmers to gain access to government support and ready markets like Nestle. In the next slide, so I'm happy to share with you that last year, the Department of Agriculture and Nestle Philippines signed a memorandum of agreement to jointly implement the Department of Agriculture Nestle Mindanao Robusta Coffee Project. So this partnership has five components, namely coffee research and development, wherein I'm happy to share with you that we are conducting balanced fertilization research currently in Sultan Kudarat and Bukidnon to identify which combination of organic and inorganic fertilizer can give our farmers the best profit, but also securing soil. We also do capacity building activities through training on GAP and regenerative agriculture, establishment of integrated coffee centers, and also logistics and marketing. So now I would like to elaborate or expound more what regenerative agriculture is in Nestle. So again, as what I've mentioned earlier, we recognize the threat of climate change to the long-term sustainability of coffee agriculture. That's why, aside from increasing farmers' yields and income, Nestle Philippines also places priority on soil health and biodiversity. So, regenerative agriculture, I know it's the buzzword currently. And to those who are not familiar of what regenerative agriculture is, regenerative agriculture is about farming responsibly in a way that it restores and protects the three key natural resources, which are the soil, water, and biodiversity to ensure the present and future food supply while building resilience, decreasing reliance on chemical inputs, and ultimately improving livelihood. So that's the goal of regenerative agriculture. So I would like to share with you the three key natural resources and what are our goals or objectives of imposing regenerative agriculture practices. So in the next, okay, sorry. So for soil health, the focus is to enhance soil fertility and structure for improved nutrient cycling and plant productivity. So through this, the activities that we promote for soil health are first is promoting effective fertilizer use by encouraging proper application based on soil analysis. So that's currently our one of the traditional way of farming in the Philippines is they just apply fertilizer without knowing the status of their soil health. So during our training on farmers, we emphasize the importance of conducting soil analysis in their farms to apply so that they can be able to apply fertilizer and based on the soil analysis result or based on the recommendation of the soil chemist or the Department of Agriculture Bureau of Soils. For water, the focus is to conserve water through efficient irrigation practices, rainwater catchment, and optimized water management practices to minimize water wastage and ensure long-term water availability. So we also need to protect water resources by implementing practices that prevent pollution and contamination. So we want to prevent ground surface contamination by reducing chemical use. So we are promoting also biological control, balanced fertilization to reduce the chemical contamination in the soil and also in our water. And last key natural resource is biodiversity. So the focus here is to foster plant diversity through practices like intercropping, agroforestry, and improving ecosystem resilience. So aside from that, we also promote intercropping for the farmers to get additional income. As you all know, coffee is a perennial crop, and farmers only harvest once a year. So while waiting for the harvest of coffee, they can also get additional income from the cash crops that they plant as intercrop in their coffee farms. And also agroforestry, we also promote planting fruit trees like langka and also banana or abaca and other forestry. So this can also provide additional income for the farmers and also partial shading for our coffee. So in the Nescafe Plan Philippines, we teach five common regenerative agriculture practices that will help our farmers or our coffee farming communities resilient. And these are composting. So I know you are all familiar with what composting is. So composting involves the decomposition of organic matter such as crop residues and animal manure to produce a nutrient-rich soil amendment. So this helps improve soil structure, increase soil water holding capacity, and also enhance soil fertility. So the second regenerative agriculture practice is agroforestry. So agroforestry is a land use management system that combines tree with crops or livestock on the same land. So these practices helps to improve soil health, increase biodiversity, and provide additional income streams for farmers through the sale of timber, fruits, or nuts, as what I've mentioned earlier. And the next practice is intercropping. So intercropping involves growing two or more crops simultaneously on the same land. So this practice helps to maximize land use efficiency, increase crop diversity, and also reduce the risk of crop failure due to pest diseases or climate variability. Next practice is cover crops. So cover crops are grown primarily to cover the soil and protect it from erosion and nutrient loss. So in the Philippines, common cover crop is Arachis pintoy or the peanut grass, if you're familiar. So cover crops help to improve soil health by increasing soil organic matter. It also fixes nitrogen and also suppress weeds and also mulching. So mulching involves the application of organic materials such as straw or leaves on the soil surface to protect from erosion, to reduce water loss, and also provide moisture, and it suppress weed growth. So mulching also helps to improve soil structure and increase the soil organic matter. So in the next slide, this is a summary of the impacts of regenerative agriculture practices. So regenerative agriculture practices lead to increased plant growth and improved plant health by promoting healthy soil conditions and nutrient cycling. Second is by implementing regenerative agriculture practices, this can result in increased crop yields by improving soil fertility, nutrient availability, and water retention. So, farmers practicing regenerative agriculture can reduce input cost by minimizing reliance on costly internal inputs like synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. So, in the next slide, So maybe I'll show you later our regenerative agriculture video. So in the next slide. So as we wrap up our discussion, let's remember that regenerative agriculture offers a promising pathway to a more sustainable and resilient future for farming. So it's up to all of us to support this widespread adoption and implementation. So thank you to our audience for your for being present here. Together, let's continue to explore and champion regenerative agriculture for the benefit of our planet and future generations. So to end my presentation, I would like to share the regenerative agriculture video of Nestle Philippines.
Ang sa masaganang hanin. So, malusog na lupa.
Ang regenerative agriculture ay isang paraan ng pagsasaka na nais maibalik, protektahan at lalong mapasigla ang lupa, tubig at ang natural ecosystem dito. Every time a farmer harvest, kinukuha ng tanim ang mga important nutrients sa lupa. At pag hindi natin ito ibalik, makakaapekto ito sa susunod na harvest.
Mayroon pa bang agriculture kung ang lupa mismo patay na? Ni damo hindi natutubo.
Maraming practices ang regenerative agriculture na tumutulong ma-improve ang soil health at biodiversity. But in Nestle, we teach 4 common practices of regenerative agriculture. There is composting, intercropping, agroforestry, and cover crops.
Ako, nag-innovate ako sa composting. Ang ginagawa ko, yung lahat ng mga, yung dahon, iniisprihan ko na lang siya ng EM solution. Mas lalo siyang nakakatulong na ma-enhance yung paglaki ng mga ugat. Ito yung intercropping setup namin. Kaya ako nagtanim ng abaca. Kasi yung kape, once a year lang siya ang harvest season. Pero ang abaca, pwede ako mag-harvest anytime. Yung agroforestry, mas baon yung ugat niya sa lupa. Hindi lang soil erosion ang kaya niyang pigilan. Maski landslide. Ang cover crops, nagsisilbing protection at tumutulong sa pagtaba ng lupa dito. Yung dalawa, yung agroforestry at saka cover cropping, symbol lang sila. Yun nga lang, yung agroforestry, nasa taas sila, yung cover cropping, gumagapang sa lupa. Ang pinakasintro talaga is ibalik yung fertility ng lupa. Yun ang pinaka-basic na foundation niya.
We at Nestle recognize that the best way to keep our promise of good food, good life, is to equip our farmers with the best knowledge in agriculture.
Nakapagtayo kami ng bahay, nakabili ng additional parcel o farmland. Wala akong kahit isang pulgadang pagsisisi. May panahon pa para maiwasan natin mawala ng malusog na lupa na pwedeng pagtaniman ng mga anak natin at sa mga susunod pa natin mga henerasyon. Sana sa mga kapwa ko magsasaka, alagaan natin ang ating mga lupa para alagaan din tayo nito.
Thank you, Julius.
Okay.
That's all. That's the overview of regenerative agriculture in the Nescafe plan.
Okay, thank you so much, Donald. And natatouch ako palagi when I hear the song yung Babangon Tayo. It's a really good it's a really good really good theme song. Okay. So well, unfortunately today, Donald, I think you're only with us until 9 o'clock
Yeah.
because yeah, I know you're very busy. So thank you very much for joining us, but we'll go straight into our question and answer Normally we go until 10 o'clock, but I know your time is very limited. So let's open the floor for questions. Just very, very quickly, please raise your hand. You can go to the bottom of your screen if you're on computer, look for the reactions button. And then you can tap that or press that, and then you should be able to see the option to raise your hand. As you see, I'm doing right now. I have a little yellow hand on the top left corner of my video. Failing that, you can try to catch our attention. Please, I'll ask for the audience's help to please let me know if somebody is trying to ask a question and we haven't noticed them. Or you can put your question in the chat box and we will line you up for all of your questions. Okay, and then if you can, just before you ask your question, please introduce yourself, just give your name and your organization, and then do limit yourself to one question as much as possible so we can give as much opportunity as we can for other people to ask questions. Okay, please, the floor is open for questions. Is there anybody who would like to ask?
Good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Morning.
loud and
Yes.
clear. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I'm just hindi naman po ako associated with anything sa coffee as of now. Although I have let's say maybe close to 100 plus coffee trees. Ano lang kasi siya, binenta lang sa akin tong mga coffee saplings mga 3 years ago. So malalaki na sila. And parang halos makalimutan ko na they're existing in my farm lot. And then, so robusta siya and most of them are already fruiting. So I'm glad na ganun yung status ko. It's planted in Baras, Rizal. So right now, I'm not sure what to do with them since I've heard you guys in Nestle are looking for mga coffee farmers to be coffee farmers. I'm planning to plant some more kasi I just acquired about 9 hectares of agricultural land na titled from an auction. Now, ang question ko is ganito. So, since meron na akong mga fruiting trees, is it practical to graft coffee trees para mas mabilis yung yung production, yung growth and production? Yun po.
Yes, sir. A very good question. One part of our regenerative agriculture practices is to plant or use high-yielding varieties that are pest and disease tolerant. So it's better for you to graft your coffee with varieties that are or selections that are known to be high yielding and also pest and disease tolerant. So in Nestle, we have registered selections accredited and registered by the Department of Agriculture Bureau of Plant Industry. So currently we have 7 selections which are which are tolerant to pest and disease and also high yield. But the problem is our operations, the operations of the Nescafe plant currently is only in Mindanao because just want to explain, our factory is located in Cagayan de Oro factory. So that's why our focus is in Mindanao, and 84% of Robusta in the country is coming from Mindanao. But I can provide you with materials regarding coffee production if you want. I can share with you our materials for you to read and also apply in your farm.
Tapos isa na lang po, so sa Mindanao pala, nandito ako sa Luzon, located ako sa Tanay, yung nakuha kong farm lot. So medyo siya, mataas ang elevation niya sa Tanay ito So
yeah,
medyo malamig-lamig din, but I don't know anong exact MSL
elevation.
or kung ang required sa kung anong magandang type of coffee. Ano po ba ang magandang itanim doon?
Yeah,
Tanay Rizal.
Tanay Rizal, nakapunta na ako na Rizal once eh. Pero mataas talaga. So our coffee naman is for Robusta.
Okay.
Up to 1,000 kaya naman. Yan. Pero
1,000
more
mls.
from 600 to 1,000. Pero
Mm.
yung iba nag-grow nga even at 300. Pero yung Arabica, yun yung mataas na requirement. So at least yung Arabica kailangan sobrang taas ng elevation, like 1,000 plus yung elevation for Arabica. So yes sir, you can also I think DTI, or Department of Trade and Industry, is also conducting post-harvest training. You can also process your coffee kasi sobrang kahit saan ka pumunta ngayon or kahit even sa daan, may mga coffee shops or
Yeah.
yung mga nagtitinda ng coffee. So you can process your own product and sell it, or you can also supply kasi for sure marami siyang mga coffee shops in Tanay Rizal. So you can also harvest your cherries or your beans and then deliver it to them. So yun yung mga value adding pwede natin gawin.
Okay. Sige. Jerry, meron ka ng interested party. Si James Laureano kasi I know he's always looking for green coffee beans to roast. So he's asking for your cell number right now.
Okay.
So andyan sa chat box, baka gusto mo siyang i-text.
Okay.
yung yung number po niya. Okay. Thank you very much for that. I see Princess Lala is now online. Princess Lala, sorry, I couldn't pass up this opportunity para mapakilala ko si Nestle sa inyo and also for Nestle to get to know Royal Sulu Coffee kasi talagang triumph of our Chair Emeritus si Ramon Ilosorio, si Royal Sulu. We're very proud that at least the memory of Chair Ramon continues on with Royal Sulu Coffee. So Princess Lala, please, if you could maybe introduce Royal Sulu, and then hopefully baka this would be a great opportunity for the both of you. Princess Lala, please go ahead.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum.
Good morning.
I'm Princess Lala, chair of the People's Alliance for Progress Multipurpose Cooperative, and we are the original producer of Sulu Royal Coffee since 2018. So as of now, I will not anymore. As of now, we are concentrating on planting more coffee trees. In fact, we are targeting to plant 20,000 coffee trees in a year because we have a vast tract of land. We are an agrarian reform of the Sultan Jamalul Kiram, which has 1,024 hectares. So beginning this year, as I think we have started this June, planting 20,000 coffee trees per year, and with also the shade trees and like cacao, madidi cacao, and what is this? Malunggay. We are also, like what I saw, nag-ano rin kami ng past crop sa gitna, mani at saka ano to yung kasaba and kamote. Kasi ang kasaba, staple food yan ng Sulu. Then, siguro, within 5 years, we will be able, hopefully, to plant 100,000 trees and 100,000 shade trees also. And then, yung mga farmers naman namin, at least we are I'm partnering with BARM, yung kanilang, yung DAR at saka DTI ng BARM is also helping us. At saka yung siguro sa katagalan din namin, may mga consultant din kami also came from Nestle. Si Louis Pacana at saka yung si Joel Lumagbas. I think formerly they were with Nestle. So yun ang nagtuturo sa amin talaga ng since the beginning. That's why siguro talagang ganda yung pag-aano namin. So now, transform na yung yung Sulu sa from conflict ngayong medyo nakakaano kami ng peace. And we feel that we have contributed a lot to that. Kasi nakikita ng mga taong labas, maganda yung situation dun sa amin. Hindi kami ginagalaw ng military. So hindi din kami ginagalaw ng mga Abu Sayyaf because we are not doing anything. And now, Sulu talaga ibang-iba na. And I think ang contribution namin doon. So sa guidance din ng MAP, at sa tulong talaga na binigay nila sa amin din, uh, napabilis ang pag-ano namin. So transformed yung farmers doon now. Hindi na sila interesado mag-rebuild it. They are now starting plant na more countries.
Yeah, thank you, Princess Kumala. I'm happy to know that you are also already practicing regenerative agriculture practices such as agroforestry, intercropping. Actually, I went to Lanao del Sur last week, Princess Kumala, in Marawi City. And also there's a group of the local government unit of Lanao del Sur also asked for our assistance in terms of training and capacity building of the farmers there in Marawi who are victims of during the Marawi siege, and also the former and also other farmers. So it's great to help people in Barm and also train them on the good agricultural practices for coffee and as well as the regenerative agriculture practices.
Yeah.
So I hope pwede tayong makavisit sa Suluma in the future, and I'm very willing to visit. Also depending on my availability, but if you need po assistance like on the technology and the gap, I can also provide you with materials.
That's great, no? I'm also traveling from not only in Sulu, no? Nagka-travel ako sa buong Mindanao. In fact, hanggang sa Calamansig, nakarating na
Wow! Doon yung
Ako,
major namin na production.
By the mayor, and then to Butuan City, to Surigao, Bukidnon, Jensan. So nag-aano rin kami talaga ng mga good practices sa lahat ng. So yung coffee namin siguro ito na yung aming pamana sa mga Suluans.
Great. Thank you, Princess.
Sige, thank you so much, Princess Lala. Again, I couldn't pass up the opportunity para ma-connect po kayo. Pero nag-aano rin po si James. James is also asking if he can get in touch with you, Princess Lala, kasi syempre malaki rin po yung demand niya. Okay, quickly, let's move on. Vicky, I see your hand is raised. Thank you so much po, Princess Lala. Let's move on now to Vicky, but I hope makakapag-usap pa po kayo, Royal Sulu and Nestle. Vicky, please, come in.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Romel, for the good presentation.
Yeah.
I'm Vicky Winnicky from Kabisig na Kalahi, and we do a lot of community building programs, no? And I am in touch with, I have access to tribal lands. And right now we're doing a program in Calabar Zone with full support of the SWD. And you know that tribal land is huge, no? Malaki yan for planting. Will you work? Will you help? Can you help set up this coffee planting to really start up? Yung talagang hindi farmers ito. Nag-uumpisa pa lang. Kaya lang they have access to a big tract of land. Pwede kaya tayong to connect, and there will be a lot of support, government and private sector, and we hope that the crop development initiative will prosper. Pwede kaya?
Hi, Ma'am Vicky.
Start from zero yan, ha?
Hi, Ma'am. Yes, Ma'am. For Calabar Zone, as what I've mentioned earlier, our operations is currently in Mindanao. So wala po kami operations in Visayas and Luzon, but I can provide you with the materials. And also, I think in Calabar Zone, meron tayong National Coffee Research Development Center in Camsu, in Cavite State University. So they also have a project for they call it Pakape Project, if I'm not mistaken, led by Dr. Miriam Baltazar. So you can also ask assistance from that office in the Cavite State University in Indang, Cavite. But for Nestle, I can also provide you with learning materials that you can share with the interested farmers in your area.
Alam mo, madali kasing kumuha ng knowledge on how to, no? Pero yung market is more important. Kasi kung bibigyan natin, bubuhusan natin ng full support, and of course, we babudgetan natin yan, ano, para lumago. Pero kung walang market, kaya I was thinking kung ang Nestle, pwedeng mag-connect and, help us with not only with the mentoring, but also with the marketing, then that would be wonderful. Mas malapit nga dito sa inyong central office, no?
No?
Bakit sa
Pero
Mindanao lang kayo?
yung factory kasi namin, ma'am, is in Cagayan de Oro. So, yun yung ginagawa
I
yung Nescafe. So, yun,
I
ma'am.
see.
Pero, let's check po. And for sure, ma'am, yung sinasabi yung walang market, sobrang taas po ng demand ng coffee. Aside from Nestle, ang dami pong markets. So, yun yung maganda sa coffee, ang laki ng potential, ang daming opportunities. Actually nga, yung sinabi ni Sir Julius kanina, may mga naghahanap din ng beans. So, maganda yan, ma'am, yung mga IPs. They can also develop their own product here in the zone. So, mas okay din yun. We also train them on value-adding activities in partnership with BTI or D.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sige. Thank you very
I'll
much.
get in touch for
Yes,
a more
ma'am.
Yeah.
in-depth talk.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can do that in such a way na mas magkakaroon ng in-depth connection, or we can have some more in-depth connection. I think there are other opportunities also that we can pull in. Donald mentioned that they have a memorandum of agreement
Yes.
with TESDA. I think TESDA might also be a good way to work with
Yes.
yung mga startup farmers talaga. And then as for market, because of course Vicky is very correct. How we can connect the market and other things like that. So those are avenues that we can explore, especially since we're trying to work for poverty alleviation through job creation, and we can see from the example of Princess Lala and in Royal Sulu, more than just poverty alleviation through job creation, but also with contributing to the peace and security of the area. So that might be something that we can look into. Not to say that there are peace and security concerns in tribal lands, but that there are many things that can be done to improve that. Okay, I think we have time for one last question. Robert, I see your hand is raised. Robert, please come in.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Vicky.
Yes, just wanted to thank, of course, our guest, speaker, Donel, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, we signed an agreement with one of the most efficient solar made from China and in Korea, wind naman. And then, of course, the German technology in mounting and the accessories, no? My question is there any good use? Kasi laging kalaban natin, cost, Di ba? Mataas ang kuryente, mataas yung tubig, mataas yung ganyan. Is there any use this solar and the wind can be applied for coffee business? Okay, not necessarily only in roasting, but also in planting and production, no? So that bumaba ang cost.
Yeah. Very good question, sir. Kasi in Vietnam, the reason why they harvest around 2 tons to 3 tons per hectare compared to the Philippines, which is our average is only 400 to 500 kilos per hectare. So
Wow.
sobrang layo po.
Layo.
And ang ginagawa ni Vietnam, they also have a good fertilization program and irrigation. So very important po yung irrigation after flowering. So pina-flooding po ng mga Vietnam farmers yung kanilang farm para magkaroon ng maraming tubig yung kanilang coffee trees. Which is, yun yung kulang sa atin. So, with regards to your question, kailangan po ng tubig ng coffee, especially in dry times, lalo na ngayon, the climate change era, marami tayong mga hindi inaasahang panahon na instead of tag-ulan, tag-init, and which is kailangan.
Yes, so there's a topic 2 weeks ago that about solar irrigation. So that maybe the same needs or equipment that may be needed. And we're bidding for that, for that's a Department of Agriculture. So it's the same, yeah. So what do you call it, guys? So if in case you guys have a need for solar, not only for it's for the factories or for your office, etc. Get us in mind. We call ourselves Y Energy. Okay, and it's in partnership with all the best people that ginawa namin who's in the solar industry. Okay, yung mga kwan, kasi we're new here, but we're partnering with all the best. And we got funding for this, no, funded by some financial institution. So that's it. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I think Donald was asked to move to a new location.
Sorry, until
Yeah.
na yung reservation.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Ganun talaga pag ano. But also, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have today. As Donald does have to go ahead at 9 o'clock. So thank you very much to everyone, and thank you very much for a very lively Q&A. Normally, we try to extend to beyond that, but unfortunately, Donald is only going to be able to stay with us until 9. For those of you who are with us this morning, please just stay for a few minutes after we end the formal session, as I do have a few announcements to make since we are already in June. This will not be included in the social media upload, so this will be edited out. But please do stay because I do have a few announcements regarding possibly our first physical General Assembly since the pandemic. Hopefully will be it will be a bit hybrid because obviously unless of course Princess Lala is willing to fly all the way to Manila from from Cebu, which we would be very happy to, but of course, it will be easier for our members and donors to join us online if they're from outside of Manila. But a few announcements regarding our General Assembly. Okay, so first of all, let us thank Donnell for his time today. Let's present our Certificate of Appreciation. The Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation, in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines, together with all of our members, our special partner institutions, senior special partner institutions, corporate members, and individual members, all present this Certificate of Appreciation to Donnell Tiedra for his invaluable support in the advocacy and promotion of agribusiness and countryside development, and for his commendable and unselfish services rendered to this foundation as our resource speaker, given on our 16th weekly online meeting of 2024, given this 25th day of June in Makati City, Philippines, signed Ernie Ordonez as our chairman and myself as our president. And now may I invite everyone to please turn on your cameras for a quick photo to show that we're all here today, we're all present today. Yeah, Yvette, Oscar, Firat, and JR. Hopefully we can all maybe ask you to turn on your cameras for our documentation. Vivian, please count us in.
All right, sir. We only have one page po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you po.
Okay, and then our next session, which will be on July 9, if I remember correctly. Yes, it will be on July 9. Is a very good one. We have the director of the Institute of Plant Breeding of the Philippines, Dr. Fe de la Cueva, who will be talking to us about breeding and development of local vegetable varieties, fruits and vegetable varieties here in the Philippines. So we're very lucky to have Dr. Fe de la Cueva. She's a colleague of mine in the National Seed Industry Council, and they are the ones that are producing and developing new varieties for local production here in the Philippines. So incredibly lucky to get her. And we hope that this will be of great value to our members, especially considering that we're trying to find more sustainable ways of agriculture here in the Philippines. So local production and locally bred varieties should be a tool in our kit to do so. Okay, and with that, if you are joining us here this morning, please do stay tuned after for a few announcements regarding the General Assembly. But if you are joining us online 2 weeks later through our social media uploads, I'm afraid that's all you can get for free. If today has brought you any value whatsoever, if you are a coffee practitioner, if you produce coffee, you are involved in the coffee supply chain whatsoever, or you are interested in regenerative agricultural practices in coffee, leave us your comments, your questions, other things, anything that you'd like to let us know down in the comments below, or you can email us. Our links are in the description. We'd be very, very happy to hear from you. If you are interested in gaining access to our wide network of agribusiness and countryside development organizations, or joining us through our informal sessions where you can engage with the speakers directly or with the other members of our audience, do consider joining us as a member. The Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation is in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines, and we are a non-profit member-supported organization. It is only through your generosity and support that we're able to do what we do and bring you our sessions every 2 weeks. Do consider joining us as a member. We'd be very happy to have you on board. Yeah, we'll see you in our next session. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a good day. Bye, everyone.